Behind the polished brilliance and seamless harmonies of Abbey Road lies a far more turbulent story from within the Beatles. The making of this record was not just about crafting music, it was about navigating clashing personalities, creative differences, and a growing sense that the band's unity was beginning to fracture. Among all the tracks recorded during these sessions, one in particular pushed George Harrison to the edge of his patience: Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon her head.
This period marked one of the most complicated chapters in the band's history. Tensions were already high when John Lennon was involved in a car accident in Scotland, forcing him to miss several key recording sessions. In his absence, the group was effectively reduced to a trio, a rare and uneasy dynamic at such a critical moment. When Lennon eventually returned, his presence did little to restore normalcy. Instead, he spent much of his time in a bed installed inside the studio alongside Yoko Ono, creating an atmosphere that felt both unusual and distant. By the time Lennon rejoined after 8 days away, the mood in the studio had already shifted. Frustration had taken hold. Harrison was increasingly exasperated, while Ringo Starr also felt the strain, albeit less intensely. In the midst of this tension, Paul McCartney stepped forward to take creative control, focusing his energy on a song he had been determined to perfect: Maxwell's Silver Hammer. McCartney had begun developing the track roughly 18 months earlier. To him, it was more than just another addition to the album. It was a personal project he was committed to realizing exactly as he envisioned it. The problem, however, was that his enthusiasm was not shared by the rest of the band. In fact, it's fair to say that none of them were particularly interested in the song at all. What deepened the tension was not just the lack of enthusiasm, but McCartney's increasingly meticulous approach. By this stage, he had become deeply perfectionist in the studio, pushing for repeated takes in pursuit of a precise sound. In doing so, he left little room for his bandmates to contribute creatively. The sessions dragged on far longer than expected, and for Harrison, the experience became not just frustrating but almost unbearable. McCartney's perfectionism was, in many ways, a double-edged sword. On one hand, it played a crucial role in shaping the immaculate production quality of Abbey Road. On the other, it severely tested the patience of those around him. For Harrison, this moment underscored a growing imbalance within the band. He was no longer just a supporting guitarist, he had evolved into a formidable songwriter in his own right. Being asked to perform on a track he didn't believe in, without meaningful input, only amplified his dissatisfaction. In a later reflection, Harrison expressed his frustration with a touch of dry wit. "Sometimes Paul would make us do these really fruity songs," Harrison later recalled. "I mean, my God, Maxwell's Silver Hammer was so fruity. After a while, we did a good job on it, but when Paul got an idea or an arrangement in his head..." Harrison didn't need to finish his sentence to get his point over, and we are all capable of filling in the blanks. While this perfectionist trait in McCartney made him brilliant, it also made him an insufferable colleague during the recording process of Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Starr shared similar feelings. Years later, in a 2008 interview with Rolling Stone, he described the recording of the track as the worst session ever, recalling how it dragged on for weeks to the point of absurdity. Despite his resistance from his bandmates, McCartney remained unwavering. He viewed the extended process as part of his artistic responsibility, believing the song deserved that level of attention. He later remembered how even small disagreements arose over the time spent on it, something he felt was entirely justified in pursuit of perfection. In the end, the story behind Maxwell's Silver Hammer is more than just one divisive song. It reflects a band in transition, where artistic ambition, personal identity, and creative control were increasingly at odds. McCartney was determined to realize his vision, while Harrison and the others were beginning to demand a more equal voice. Ironically, the track itself sounds lighthearted and playful, yet beneath its cheerful surface lies a story of tension, perfectionism, and a band slowly coming apart, a revealing snapshot of a legendary group unknowingly approaching the end of its journey.